Oxford.
Mr. Speaker, throughout the summer, I've heard heartbreaking stories from families across Oxford who are struggling to put food on their tables. After 8 years of this Prime Minister, this Liberal NDP government is not worth the cost. Their carbon tax has raised the cost of food. For example, the price of onions is up 69%. Will this Prime Minister's big meeting with grocery CEOs reverse the 69% hike by Thanksgiving? Yes or no?
The Honourable Minister for Housing.
Mr. Speaker, let me begin by congratulating the honourable member on taking his spot in this House. But having only recently arrived, Mr. Speaker, he can be forgiven if he's not aware that the party he now forms a member of voted against many of the measures that, in fact, make a direct impact on having life more affordable for his constituents. This includes investments in the Canada Child Benefit. This includes new investments that reduce the cost of childcare. This includes new benefits to provide dental care for low-income families. And this includes a rebate that leaves 8 out of 10 families in the province of Ontario better off as a result of putting price on pollution. We can fight climate change and make life more affordable. It's what we've been doing for 8 years, and we're going to.
The Honourable Member for Calgary Heritage.
For my neighbours across Calgary, senior savings are going up in smoke. Single moms may not be in the homes of the doors that I knocked, and the dreams of young couples and newcomers devastated. Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister and his NDP government have not been worth the cost. Right. After 8 years of raising carbon taxes on the farmers and truckers who bring us our food, potatoes are up 68%. Oh. Now he wants to quadruple the carbon tax to 61 cents a litre. How much more will that add to the price of potatoes?
The Honourable Minister of Health.
What is irresponsible to a weary planet that is going through some of its darkest days is, although Canada has some of the lowest food inflation and some of the lowest inflation in the world, it is so much more that we have to do. But saying to people who are facing the global challenge of inflation that cutting dental care, that taking away dental care from vulnerable families is a solution to global inflation and the crises that we face, show this.
The Honourable Member for Calgary Heritage, it's his first day here. I'm sure he wants to hear the answer to his question. And we really can't hear it with all the shouting that's going on. So I'm going to ask the Honourable Minister of Health to start from the top so that the Honourable Member can hear the answer.
Mr. Speaker, in all times of great challenge globally, there is a responsibility for all of us to focus on solutions and answers. And yes, it's incredibly easy on the other side and point out what's wrong in the world and what's happening, but there's solutions, cutting support and services from the most vulnerable. Let me just talk about dental care for a second. Do you know the #2 cause of children in the hospital? Oral health, all of which is preventable. We could stop people from getting ill. We could take action to make our world better, or we can throw around slogans like what is being done on the other side. Let's focus on real answers, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member for Portage-Lisker.
You're very short of a Happy Meal.
Mr. Speaker, when I was talking with friends and neighbours this summer, I heard loud and clear that people can't afford the Liberal NDP government's carbon tax. The average farm family will spend an extra $150,000 each year. The people who make the food can't afford that, and the people who buy the food can't afford that. This Prime Minister is simply not worth the cost. After 8 years, the Prime Minister has driven up the cost of everything, and Canadians have had enough. When will the Prime Minister listen to Canadians and finally axe the tax?
The Honourable Minister of Agriculture.
Mr. Speaker, and I appreciate my honourable colleague's question.
But the fact is, when you look at what happened in our area of the country, Fiona alone, it destroyed burns, it killed cattle, it destroyed wharves. The fact is that if we don't deal with the economy, the cost of everything will go up. We have invested in climate change, and this government will continue to invest in climate change, so we will have a place to live. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.